Ghalee, it's a pleasure to have you, and we are honored to spotlight you in this year's RightWay Foundation Spotlight for Black History Month.
Man, it's an honor. Thank you, RightWay Foundation, for spotlighting me. Honored to be here.
So let's get into, who are you? And can you give us a quick background and how we got you here today with the RightWay Foundation?
We're going to go back a little bit here then. Who is Ghalee Wadood? South Central, West Los Angeles native, raised in the Pico area. Football was my life, right? I think Ghalee started getting his name in the football space. God blessed me with a lot of football talent, excelled in it from an early age, through high school, through the collegiate level. That was Ghalee. How we got here with the Right Way, I think I could start around 2008 when I really started to mature as a man. Unfortunately, I was in a motorcycle accident, and that was the starting point of it all. In 2008, I got hit by a drunk driver on a Friday night, and that was really the change of who Ghalee is today now. My community, priorities, etc. Anything you could think about as far as becoming a man. I had to really fall, lose everything, cracked my skull, broke my hands, lost half of my right foot. And that was a tough journey. That was a tough time for me. In the hospital for a couple months, bedridden for a year. During that time, once I was done crying, etc., disbelief of everything that I was going through, that's when, God spoke to me. It wasn't about me anymore. I just really started caring about the kids in the future and where we were living today. So at that time, in my bed, I independently wrote a book called Blood Cousins. Blood Cousins was a book that I felt needed to be read by youth that's incarcerated. So I had printed that book out and really kind of got it into all camps, jails, detention halls, you name it. And it was just to bring awareness to the poison and the brainwash of the whole gangbang life that we all, or most of us, fell victim to coming up in this, South Central area. Started walking again, published my book, started coaching, getting back to what I love. Hence that I had to just leave LA. And then I relocated to a place called the High Desert. Low cost of living, big old houses, lots of land, and it was a peace of mind that I needed. So I left LA, moved to the High Desert. I was doing so much at the time. I started my own nonprofit called M&D, which was short for Mind Over Matter, Do's and Don'ts. Because again, everything that I was going through, I had to get kids to understand to use their brain first. Like, you always have to use your mind, Decisions. You're gonna make good decisions, you're gonna make bad decisions. I just really had to focus in on starting to teach kids about using their brains. My daughter was playing basketball at Oak Hills High School, and I was sitting in the stands watching her play. And it was two young guys. They heard who I was. They sat by me. Gino Mastandri and Jeremiah Lorick. And they was like, oh man, I'm good. They knew who my nephews were, and I can play football. And I'm like, man, y'all can't play no football. Let me see. They showed me their little highlights, and these two kids were really, really good. They made an impression on me. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna get you guys on the platform. We got some of the good talent that was around here, and I started taking these kids from the High Desert back down to my home were, the LAs, the Long Beaches, Vegas. We just started hitting the circuit with these guys and getting them some recognition, and we started making some noise. From that, I started getting kids college awareness and making them believe that they can get to college, and having a lot of college coaches come to the high desert area to see all of these different kids that I had playing for me. Because right at that time, I was just M&D. I opened up a training center, a training center and a learning center, and we was just working. And the buzz just went crazy. So from that, I had interviewed with like 3 different high schools. I started getting calls like, hey, come coach here, come coach here. And then I met a great lady by the name of Miss Purcell at Adelanto High School. I went by out of the 3 high schools that I was probably going to take the job at. That one just reminded me of home. Adelanto was just so black and ghetto and and just, but it felt like home, right? They had never won a game. They didn't. I think they probably. Well, that's a stretch. I think their best season was probably like 2 wins, 9 losses. I just came in there. I said, "This is where we're going." They had a brand new turf field. I said, "This is what we're doing." So I came. The buzz came of me taking the job there. It hit the high desert area. Some kids came. Some was kind of hesitant to come. And the first year we won the championship. So that we went from 2-9, and I think we went maybe 13-1 that year, and we won the championship. And that was just the turning point. Now I had this whole desert believing in themselves. Of course, a lot of people didn't like. Hate always comes with this stuff, but it happens. But it was such a good time to have the community, the families, everybody coming together, and just what that was doing for me personally, off of what I was coming out of. And no one really knew my story, but I was more happier with seeing these kids win and start to believe in themselves. The second year, we were known. I started putting on a college showcase. I had about 25 colleges come to Adelanto, first ever, and just have these kids get a chance to, okay, they want scholarships, they want offers, go prove yourself in front of these coaches on the sideline. From that success, all of the college coaches that I was in contact with started calling, hey, come work, come work, come work. I had an opportunity to go to San Jose State, where I graduated from and played ball myself. From head coach Brent Brennan, he gave me the opportunity to be the director of player personnel. So I accepted the job. That's right when COVID had hit. And I went to San Jose. We built another roster. I was recruiting, so I was just over all of the recruiting and roster management. We won the conference that year. From that success, I was able to land another job at Arizona State University under the great Herm Edwards. Loved it, loved everything about Arizona. We continued. I went as director of player development in that space, recruited guys, built guys, started really teaching guys about football and off the field, stuff that should be important to them, things that they should look for, etc. A lot of guys in the NFL today currently on that team, and the likes of Jaden Daniels, Ricky Pearsall, Johnny Wilson, Chase Lucas, and it's a few more that I'm missing, but that team was loaded with current NFL talent that I will help to mold. Fast forward from Arizona State, Coach Yarber called me, the wide receiver coach from the Los Angeles Rams. He said, hey man, we got a position open over here. I think you'll be good for it. I went, did my homework on it. I said, oh, this is something that I'd love to do. It was, that back end care and stuff about, I just care more about off the field stuff than I do on the field. As much as I love football, football just brings us here, but it's everything that we do outside of that. I did my homework. I called a good friend of mine, like my cousin Oz Hakeem, who won the Super Bowl with the Rams, as well as Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt. Because when they was winning, those were my guys. We were still running around with them at that time. There was my boss, a lady who I love, Molly Higgins, vice president of the Rams community department. They had a relationship with Molly. I said, hey man, call Molly. I want to get this interview. I submitted for it. That process was really long to really get to the NFL. So that process, I probably interviewed 4 times. And then on the final one, I got the job. So I was super excited to go back home to LA. I was super excited to make it to the NFL. You know, as kids, you always say we want to make it to the NFL one day. And I made it to the NFL in a different space. Got with Molly, that whole community team. It was a great experience. So I was with the Rams 4 years. And something came over me then. I mean, money's good, life's good, but just in all honesty, the back end, the family wasn't all the way right. Your kids wasn't right, and if you know me, that's just all I'm about. I only do it for my family. So while we're with the Rams, I come across an old childhood friend of mine, Franco Vega. Franco Vega is the CEO of the RightWay Foundation. And we were sitting down and we were talking, and he was telling me about what the RightWay Foundation does and their mission and foster youth and foster care and housing all of these foster kids. And I'm like, he taught me so much, and I did not know about all of the bad things about the foster care system, particularly when a foster kid reaches the age of 18, they're just kicked out of the system, they're kicked out on the street. And coincidentally, I'm in Ramadan right now, but last year when I completed Ramadan on the last day, we do a deed for the community. So I bought a bunch of sandwiches and waters, and my family and I, we went down to Skid Row, and we just handed out food to all these homeless people. And that touched me. From being in Ramadan and experiencing that with my family, I can remember my wife and my daughters were literally crying because it was pregnant women out there, it was young people out there, it was something I never paid attention to, and it affected me. Coming off of Ramadan, I felt good in my mind and in my body, but however, those tears, and then it just made me think of Franco. I said, wow, when I see this young girl, this is what Franco was telling me when the system drops them at 18, this is where they come to. And I said, you know what? This is where the real work is. I went back to Molly Higgins, let her know what I would like to do, and told her about the RightWay Foundation, and it just kicked off from there. We were able to get Franco out to our training camp, and we gave him a $5,000 check. I was able to work with another department and on my Rams team, our partnerships team. We partnered up with Bank of America, got them another $50,000. Got them with Cam Curl. Love Cam Curl, defensive back number 3 for the Rams. Told him what I would like to do. He started wearing them on their cleats, because every year for a cause, we have a My Cause, My Cleats in the NFL, and each player can pick a nonprofit that they would want to make awareness to. Cam heard the story, so we sat down. He started taking the right way on as an ambassador. He's came to events, he's donated money, and this was my calling for the right way is where, that's what they need me, that's where I want to be. They need me. So me and Franco, we were working hand in hand when I was with the Rams. I had left the Rams in March just to, again, just do focus on myself and my family. And Franco was like, man, you need to come over here with us and help me, build this awareness. And I was like, oh, I'd love to. It was just a no-brainer. So I went down there to the RightWay Foundation, located right there in the hood, in the Crenshaw, inside the Crenshaw Mall, and we just start brainstorming. We've hosted events. We've hosted celebrity all-star games. I started to call my resources. I called my little brother, Brandon Watson. You guys know him from Premier Boxing, the whole Watson family, the Watson Foundation. So thankful for them. We came together, raised money for the Right Way, and we just keep hitting it now. I started reaching out to some of my celebrity friends. Let me give a quick shout out to Kareem Grimes, Omar Benson Miller, my sister, Mama Five, Regina Jackson. They have all been so supportive with this whole Right Way mission that I'm on. So this is where, who Ghalee is and how we really got to me being a part of the Right Way. So as much as the Right Way wants to give me a spotlight, they're doing the work, and I'm happy to be a part of the Right Way team and put the spotlight back on them because they're the ones who really needs the spotlight. They just bought some housing in Koreatown. We had Christine Devine come down, do a segment showing some of the foster care after they age out the system, showing some of the apartment units. Just did a really, really nice piece on Franco and the Right Way and what he was doing, and to where we are now. We're just going to continue to create the awareness, create the funding lane. I'm gonna ask them to put up a link on here. What is the whole QR code? Put that on here. This is their 15th year, and I know a lot of successful people. I know a lot of people that's just regular 9-to-5 people, and we all have $15. And so I'm going to start pounding all of my close friends and family, just asking them to help get on this really, really cause that we need support on. Like, if you really care and you hear about homelessness, California, and is just out of, it's just those numbers of homelessness is out of whack. This is where we all can come together and not really depend on the politicians and laws, et cetera, et cetera. Let's just come together with a company like Right Way and really help somebody that's really out here doing the work. So I'm going to be calling all of y'all really, really soon to help me on this journey to raise money, $15 a month to donate to the RightWay Foundation. That's what I've heard. I'm all aboard. Let's just get that push going, and I cannot wait to see the RightWay Foundation really get its props, its due that it deserves, because just like how they won me over and wowed me with the work that they're doing, and I'm just a regular person too with a good heart. Anybody that really cares about kids, about our community, about culture, we got to care, we got to give back, and the RightWay Foundation is the non-profit that we all should be giving back to. So again, I know I can't thank Franco Vega enough. Anybody out there seeing this spotlight, curious about the spotlight, please look up the RightWay Foundation. They're right in the heart of South Central Los Angeles, Crenshaw and King, right at the bottom floor in the Crenshaw Mall, right next to the police department. Y'all know where they are. Y'all know where to find them. Let's come together. Let's do it right. Call me. You guys got my number. I'm on Instagram at Ghalee Senior, GHALEESR, Ghalee Senior. Follow me. Reach out to me. I'm open for ideas, whatever you need. Just reach out to me anytime. And again, Franco, Right Way, thank you guys for having me, humble me to be on your spotlight. And I can't thank you enough. And I'm ready to continue this journey in this push and taking care of our foster care kids, keeping them out the streets, because Skid Row is not a pretty sight, and we don't want none of our kids to end up down there homeless, on drugs, and we know how this thing goes. So RightWay, again, thank you. Ghalee Wadood here checking out.